I mean, let's just be real. And you're sitting there, and they look like it's such a good thing, right? And if you've ever seen, and even y'all have seen on TV and on movies, you've seen the wild horses running across the screen. You ever seen that movie? I'm going to tell you what. I've been there. I've been out to the BLM in Montana and caught me some wild horses. Been around them wild Mustangs. And you go up there and you capture one of them things, and you're from a distance. Oh, they look good. Come on. You're like, oh, I want some of them. So you go out there and you work and you capture them, and then you come up close to that horse, and you get up and you know it. And once you get up close to that horse, you see what's really going on. And let me tell you some of the things that's really going on. They'll never tell you this. The life expectancy of a wild horse is 7 years. You know what the life expectancy of a taken care of horse is, a broke horse? Well, about 27. Most of them about 22, 23. But a good horse can live 27 years. You know why? You get up close to that wild horse, they got all kinds of diseases and maggots and stuff in their skin and their cut and their teeth. Usually, see, what happens is they don't have nobody to take care of them. They got nobody to love on them. So whatever goes wrong just goes wrong. Right? Their feet, there's no one to shod their feet. There's no one to clip back those nails. And so what happens is they grow out. The toes grow out. And when they grow out, they break and they split. And they come up into their quick and they can barely walk. And it hurts them and their teeth are all jolted and jerked inside. And they're biting their tongue and they're infected and their jaws are infected. And then they've been in fights with each other because that's the only way you can survive is to fight one another. And there's cuts and bites and bruises and breaking legs, the broken legs that have been healed wrong. And you see this horse and you see that, I don't want that thing. I just been out here all this time. I don't want nothing to do with that horse. This horse ain't got but about 6 months more to live. Right? So here's the deal. From a distance, it may look good. But there's a season when they're running out there that there's an end. And that end is not pretty. All right? So what I want to do is I want to get that young one. And I want to capture him. And I want to bring him in to my round pen. Now let me teach you something about round penning. All right? What you do with a wild horse is you bring this horse in and you literally have a pen that's round. And let me teach you something here. This is powerful. When this round, what will happen is, there's a lot of people that break horses a lot of different ways. This is how I break horses. I'll bring that horse in the round pen. He'll be blindfolded. Bring him in, and I'll let him go. And he sees me, and I'll stand right in the middle. And he sees me, and he will run in circles for hours. Not just run in circles. He'll run in circles with his head out, facing outside, and his butt to me, giving me a little bit of attitude. And you know what? It's hard even on me. Guess what? Because I got to stand there. And I got to be patient. I don't say nothing. I don't have a whip. I don't yell. I just stand there. And as I stand there, this horse will run in circles and circles and circles for literally could be hours. But there comes a time. And what will happen is this horse will become exhausted from running away from the very person that has a plan, the very person that has a hope, the very person that has health and safety. And he's running for me out of fear, out of anger, out of ignorance. And so what happens is the horse comes to a point where he stops. And he will completely stop. And what happens is there's this moment, and it's beautiful. And that what will happen is the horse, nostrils flaring, tongues hanging out, sweat beating all over, just lathered up in sweat. And he will turn literally and turn to me. And that moment is called facing up. And that horse will stop and look at me. And what he's saying with his body is, "What do you want?" And my response is, I'm glad you asked. See, because now it can start. See, and so what I want to teach, the first part of what I want you to teach that gives you the perspective is that what you're doing here tonight, what you're doing here by submitting into this class is difficult. I know there's lots of work to be done. It's time consuming. It's hard, but you're in the round pen. Okay? And the round pen, now I understand there's a bigger perspective. You've already been in the round pen to even get here. But see, there's different levels of round pen. See, every level that we go, every day. So a lot of times I used to say to my kids, I used to be youth pastor, say, it's time for a new round pen. You got to come to this round pen because after we teach you this, then I got to teach you this. And then I teach in the round pen. Because the round pen is where let's go a little bit deeper with this whole horse thing. What happens is, so he goes to this level and everything's fine. And you let him out and you think everything's fine. But he's running and he's like, okay, I did that. I'm good, right? I get to go eat. I get to go play. I get to go run. I get to go do. Well, what happens is, if I just left it at that, I got a pet. But I don't have someone who wants to serve. So now what happens is I want to do stuff with this horse. We got plowing to do. We got barrels to race. We got roping to do. We got something for this horse to do because I don't have enough time, energy, or money to let me have just a bunch of pets. I got a dog for that. We spent some money on this thing. We're going to get the money out of it, right? There's a price that was paid. And because of that price that was paid, there's something that needs to be brought out of that animal to fulfill what it's called. Now, I want you to go a little bit even deeper, and we'll get back to, watch this. Let's say that I've been talking about the wild horse. How many of you know that you can be a wild horse or just a colt? And either way, they still all got to go through the same process. You can be of a higher breed, of a lower breed. It don't matter who you are when you came in the round pen. It matters who you are when you leave the round pen.